Brendan, I'm just curious, winning 9 of your last 11, heading into the Big 12 tournament, is this as confident that you've been heading into a Big 12 tournament since you got here?
I don't know that confident is the right word. I would say we were pretty confident a year ago. I think that our sense of urgency in everything that we're doing right now, whether it's in practice or a film session or a team meeting, is encouraging to me.
How different is you guys' preparation knowing you may have to play 2 or even 3 games in 4 days?
I think we've been had to be pretty judicious with how we're practicing really this entire month with our lack of depth. So we've tried to keep things pretty consistent, but obviously the day before Thursday will be fairly light, and then if you're fortunate enough to win, you're in a walkthrough preparation for the next game.
You mentioned that urgency, and I think it was Holly on Saturday that said, this is fun, senior day was fun, K-State at home was fun, but it's time to lock in now. How much of that urgency comes from that, like player-led stuff, and how valuable is that?
Well, I think it's extremely valuable. I think we have a group that recognized, we had a really, really hard schedule in non-conference, but even to start league play. But they just recognized that, we may be on the verge of underachieving, and I don't know that anybody ever wants that label. So it was great to see, that group, really buy into some of the things that we had to do to turn things around.
We saw your statement yesterday about the all Big 12 stuff, but I wonder if you could elaborate, especially on Twin and Samaya landing on that first team, what they did this season, what they meant, and why they're
I think the first thing I would say is we need to expand the team. We've especially when we go to 16 teams, 15 players is not enough. So there were some good players, I think, left off. And I'm not talking specifically from our program, just in general. So I think that has to be part of a discussion in our spring meetings. Couldn't be prouder of Twin and just what she's accomplished here in her 3 years. I know that being named Defensive Player of the Year was a goal of hers since she's been here, and was on the team for 3 straight years. Didn't quite get maybe the recognition that she wanted, but I'm still really proud of her. And I think that for a freshman to be first team all league is just an incredible accomplishment. And I know we have several freshmen that made the team, but I think it also speaks to how good. There's some terrific freshmen around the country. You talk about Juju and Hidalgo at Notre Dame and obviously Michaela at LSU, but I don't think there's a conference that has a better freshman class than the Big 12 from top to bottom. So to be named to the all-freshman team is a terrific honor, especially this year. But for Samaya to be named first team all-league is something I hope she understands how special that is.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that. Like, at what point do you recognize how significant this is in the history of this program, the season she's had? I mean, is that something you're going to have to get some distance from and then look back on it?
No, I think I'm witness. I mean, I'm there. I got a pretty good seat.
Yeah.
The numbers would say, and Doug would know better than me, but the numbers would say probably one of the best 3 freshmen in the history of our program. she's had a great year. But the thing that I respect so much about Samaya is she's humble enough to know that she's still got a lot of room to grow, and she's such a sponge. She wants to watch film, she wants to do individual skill work. I think she recognizes that, yes, I've had a really good year, but I got a lot of things I can still learn and a lot of things I can still improve on.
How have past experiences in the conference tournament, if at all, affected the way that you prepared the team this time around?
Well, we convinced the Big 12 to move it to a different venue. We've changed hotels. We're eating at a different restaurant. We've tried to change as much as we can to kind of get off, the last 2 years in terms of how we've played.
And then just in terms of Twin going up against Guston for a third time, they each kind of came out on top in one of those matchups. What are your expectations in terms of a third time around for that battle?
Two of the best frontline players in the country, I think. I just hope that they're going against each other. I think that's the key thing for Kansas is Jackson needs to be in the game to be part of, that matchup. Here she was, there she wasn't. So we'd like it to be head-to-head as much as possible.
Just in general, what's been your message to the team facing BYU for a third time? Obviously, you guys beat them twice, but it's tough to beat a team 3 times. What's been kind of your message going in this first game?
It's actually pretty common, in most, at least for us in the past, because we play everybody twice, so you usually catch somebody a third time, I think. So no different than any other year. You can't, just assume that the same things you did well are going to work. I think we've got to take what we did well and try to replicate it, but also see that there's things in the game that we can make adjustments and improve on.
Samaya mentioned how her career high against Oklahoma might lead to some harder defense as she goes forward in the postseason. How do you think the team itself, just how complete it's been, can account for maybe a game where she's not at the top like she was on Saturday?
I think the game in Provo is a perfect example. Twin was out in foul trouble. Samaya did probably struggled as much as any game that she's played in here, but Holly and Wyvette and Zakiah all stepped up and had really big games. So I think that's the thing that we're excited about with our team is, we feel like there can be different people on different nights, even based on, defensive coverages. And the good thing about Samaya is if she does see a lot of traffic or double teams or whatever the ball screen coverage is, she's got the size and vision to make the right play.
Yeah, Brandon, you kind of talked about the location change. You get it into T-Mobile Center this year. What does that mean for the rapid growth of women's basketball, not only around the country, but also in the Big 12?
I think it's just doing the right thing. I know that Municipal's a great place, and we've competed in there. I have many times. So, but I think as you go back to some of the inequities of the NCAA tournament in the COVID year in particular was when it was really brought to light. And I think both the NCAA and conferences are making every effort to remedy some of those things. I don't think we're there yet, but I think there's greater effort being made.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Brandon.